Hello everyone, Melee here. Today we're going to be talking about the Affinity deck and Legacy. I don't talk about a lot of Legacy stuff, but Affinity is a deck that I know very well, and with the arrival of Scars of Mirrodin cards, a lot of people have been asking me since I've been playing this deck so long, what do I think that the Legacy deck is going to look like, and some of the changes I would make, and this and that and the third. So I decided to try to talk about it today, give you a quick look at my Affinity deck here, talk about some of the changes, and then get your input on it and see how you feel about it. So we're going to take a look at the deck, what it used to look like and what it looks like now. So for Legacy, we have right now we have 4 Frogmites, we have 4 Arcbound Ravagers, 4 Myr Enforcers, 2 Atogs, 4 Ornithopters, we have 4 Disciple of the Vault. We have 3 Cranioplatings. We have 4 Thoughtcasts. We have 3 Master of Ethereums. And what we used to have was 4 Arcbound Workers. What else did we used to have here? Let me take a look. We used to have 4 Springleaf Drums. And we used to have, depending on preference, 4 Flings or 4 Shrapnel Blasts, just depending on how you like to build your deck. I'm actually a fan of both, so sometimes I'm torn, and I switch back and forth between which ones I like to run. So, what replaced some of these cards? Well, we'll get to the mana base here in a little bit, but what replaced some of these cards? Well, we've replaced the Fling slash Shrapnel Blast with Galvanic Blasts. Really good burn spell in this deck for 1 red mana instead of the 2, so it can't be hit with Spell Snare. And plus, it just gives you that 1 mana kind of matters to Affinity. You can do a lot with just 1 mana, so it's nice to have a burn spell that only does. But that does 4 damage for 1 mana. We have 4 Mox Opals, which replace the Springleaf Drums. In my opinion, this is really, really good. Some people will say, "Well, it's legendary, and you can't play multiples of them." Yeah, that's very true. Multiple Springleaf Drums wasn't helping you win either. I know that's completely different, because with Springleaf Drum, at least you could drop it and still have artifacts, but in my opinion, if you're drawing multiples of these guys, you're not winning anyway, and you have the option of sacrificing your Mox Opals to help with Ravager or Atog, and still making them lose the life with Disciple of the Vault. So, I'm going to be testing this with 4 Mox Opals, might drop it down to 3, I'm not sure yet, but I like the 4 Mox Opal idea, because the 0 drop kind of helps. And this is another big one that people got on me about, were asking me a lot about, replacing Arcbound Worker with Memnite. I think this is better. I know the modular counter, you sack and move the modular counter and get that extra point of damage there, but I still think this guy is a little stronger. In the deck, it makes the deck go a little faster and can actually make stuff a little smoother. I'm not sure. Still playtesting with this. So far, he's been working out really well for me. And we're just going to see how that goes. Coming over here to the mana base, here's what my mana base looks like. Now keep this in mind that this is my deck, this is not anybody else's, so you can't say, well, this looks like this and that. This is just my build and my thoughts and feelings on the deck. We're running 3 Darksteel Citadels, which has great synergy with my 3 Glimmer Voids, and on a side note, I'm just going to show this off real quick. I met Large Grant West in Boston at a Grand Prix a couple years ago, and I asked him to alter these for me, and this is what he came up with. I thought it looked pretty cool. Little dragon going through the Glimmer Void there, just kind of showing that off. But I run 3 Glimmer Voids, 4 Vault of Whispers. Oh, sorry, that was 3, wasn't it? 3 Vault of Whispers, 4 Great Furnaces. That's what I had 4 of. 4 Great Furnaces. And 3 Seed of the Synod. Now, the mana base seems a little heavy to me. I might cut back on this because of the increase in speed. I find myself not needing so many lands. Another land some people experiment with is Blinkmoth Nexus, which I still think is pretty good, but might be too slow in Legacy. I'm not sure yet. So I'm giving a lot of playtesting on that. Some people were running Chromatic Star because it has great synergy with Arcbound, Ravager, and Atog, and making them lose life with Disciple, and then drawing that card when it goes to the graveyard to keep you going. The one mana of any color helps because you have a sideboard that's a little crazy, and the deck is kind of 3 colors. As you can see, blue, black, red. So this is a good idea, but I find it to be a bit slow. So I have dropped this from the deck completely. Also, only running 3 Masters and 3 Cranial Platings, because now you're no longer winning with just damage. You have the Disciple going and Galvanic Blast, so you're doing making them lose a lot of life with Disciple, and rather than damage. So you still have the damage dudes here to do the extra damage, but I don't think you need to go as heavy on it. And honestly, these 2 cards kind of slow the deck down slightly. So, because of the casting cost is a little high. So that's how I feel about that. But this is what my main deck looks like right now. There's other people talking about other cards. Some people run Thoughtseize or Cabal Therapy in the main deck. Some people run. A friend of mine's been telling me about Etch Champion. He equips Etch Champion with Cranial Plating and swings for a lot of damage, and they can't really touch him. So that's another idea to keep in mind. Also running a little more burn heavy. Some people run Galvanic Blast and Shrapnel Blast, or Galvanic Blast and Fling, or Fling and Shrapnel Blast. So it's pretty much personal preference at that point. On one hand, I do like a lot of burn spells in my deck, so it's something I would consider. But right now, I'm happy with just the 4 Galvanic Blasts doing my damage for me. Pick this up here, and we'll get to the sideboard here, which there's a lot of options because of the nature of the deck, because of how many colors it is. Yes, my whole deck is foil too. You see some of these. If you have any of these cards that I don't have in foil, like Galvanic Blast and Mox Opals and Memnites, please let me know and I will trade you for them. Love that stuff. Let's get to the sideboard here real quick. Here's what I'm running in my current sideboard, which is going to change soon. But this is what I have right now. I have 2 Tormod's Crypts, 2 Relic of Progenitus, 3 Kark Clan Shamans, 4 Ancient Grudge, and 4 Trick Binds. Now, this is a pretty good sideboard, in my opinion. Helps with graveyard stuff. This helps with the aggro stuff. Kind of helps with Zoo and Elves and all the random stuff you run into. This does a lot of damage to the guys on the ground. Ancient Grudge is good in the mirror match and stacks and different kind of stuff running artifacts. Yeah, I do know it costs a green to flashback, and I'm running no green lands, but I am running Glimmer Voids, 3 Glimmer Voids, and 4 Mox Opals, which I believe will suffice in getting me the green mana if I need to flash this back. 7 sources is pretty good for just a flashback cost. I'm also running Trick Binds here. I'm running this over Stifle for a lot of reasons, but the biggest one being that it has split second. Yes, it does cost 1 more mana, and I'm getting the, well, you can't do it turn 1 argument from a lot of people, but if you Mox Opal turn 1 and land a couple other artifacts, you have no problem. The biggest thing here is, here's what Trick Bind does. Counter target activated or triggered ability. If a permanent's ability is countered this way, activated abilities of that permanent cannot be played this turn. So for the rest of the turn. Excuse me. The biggest thing is it has split second. This can't be countered. I was running this in Extended, and now I'm still doing it in Legacy because this helps you dodge a lot of stuff like Remand and Force of Will and all the other counters, Pact of Negation, stuff like that. If they're trying to combo off, they can't stop you now. You've just shut them down. When they tendrils, you can just Trick Bind, and there is nothing they can do about it because of the split second. The only way I believe the counter split second is, I don't know if I can think of one. Counterbalance. Counterbalance is the only way to counter a split second spell, from what I understand. I could be wrong on that. What are some other sideboard options, though? Well, you have stuff like this. This is really good in Legacy. Pithing Needles. Pithing Needles shut down all kinds of stuff. And right now, in a metagame where you don't know what you're going to be seeing, because the metagame for Legacy is gigantic. There's so many there's so many viable decks. You don't even know what you're going to run into. This is a great option. This help you out. This comes in handy. It's a great card, and it's an artifact, so it kind of helps you out extra there. For the people that enjoy the White Splash, which I see a lot of in Affinity, Aether Swarm Canonist is a great way to shut down combo decks as well, because players can only play 1 non-artifact spell per turn. So this is a great way to go if you want to shut down them combo decks or them elf elf ball decks or whatever. Also adding more graveyard hate, depending on what you see in your area, or big tournaments that you're afraid of running into decks like Dredge and all this other stuff. This is a great way to go. Extra Relic of Progenitus or Tormod's Crypts in the sideboard. Also, people running extra cards like Duress and Cabal Therapy and Thoughtseizes in the sideboard to help deal with all kinds of stuff and pull cards out of your opponent's hands all day long. So that's always an option. You're also, I see a lot of people running cards like Red Elemental Blast, Blue Elemental Blast, cards like Assert Authority, which is the blue affinity counterspell, which is a great counterspell. So your options are definitely very, very wide open as far as the Legacy Affinity deck goes, because it is 3 colors and you have access to all kinds of cards. But I don't really know what the additions are from Scars of Mirrodin for the sideboard. So this is where you guys come in. Let me know what you thought about the main deck. If you have any ideas, if you've played this deck before, if you come up with anything to help make the deck good. How about any sideboard tech that you might be able to come up with? Leave your responses in the comment section down below. You know, let me know what you think. I will probably, I don't know if I'll post this deck in the description, but if you have any questions about it, please let me know, and I'll feel free to answer your questions. So this is the first of my deck tech segments. I think it's going to become a regular thing because I have a lot of questions about deck lists and stuff. If you have a deck list that you would like me to talk about and you would like everybody to talk about, we can talk about it on the show. Send me your deck lists. Send me something that you would like people to edit and get feedback on, and I will talk about it on the show. Have our own little deck clinic and throw it out there to everybody to critique your decks for you and help you out. I know a lot of you have been asking me, hey, I posted my deck. Can you give me some advice? Just send me the list and I can post it on the show. Either do it like this if I have the cards to build it, or I can always throw it up on the computer and show you that way. So this has been a look at the Affinity deck and Legacy real quick. I hope this has been educational and informative, and we will see you next time.